Yeah, real quick at this time, I'm going to have to ask you for your name and date of birth, sir. And
this has to be a lawful detainment.
I do want to explain to you that if you refuse or give me a false or fictitious name, it's going to be a crime.
Welcome back, folks. It's always good to see you here. Today, we've got a perfect example of what happens when an educated citizen stands his ground. A cop tried to demand ID without lawful cause, but this guy wasn't having it. Calm, confident, and legally sharp, he dismissed every unlawful order, owned the entire encounter, and reminded the officer exactly what the Constitution says. It's not every day you see the script flipped like this, but when it is, it's beautiful.
What I'm going to need, though, and I'm going to explain to you that it's against the law to fail ID, I'm going to need your information, sir.
What's that?
I said real quick, I'm going to need your information. I'm going to need some kind of name, date of birth.
And I'm being detained for?
Yes. You're being detained for suspicious activity.
That's not a crime, sir.
Okay, yes, it's not a crime, but it's our job to determine if there's a crime or not.
You have to have reasonable suspicion. You have to be reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime has been committed.
Okay.
And so I'm still waiting for that crime.
School, let me ask you this.
I'm still waiting for the crime to be.
Did you not know that I have that authority to detain you?
You can detain me, yes you can, yes.
Thank you, and you're being detained. Here's the deal, boss.
I'm going to wait because you completely falsified that. And I really hope you put that in your report because that's going to be a felony.
Yeah, real quick at this time, I'm going to have to ask you for your name and date of birth, sir. And
this has to be a lawful detainment.
I do want to explain to you that if you refuse or give me a false or fictitious name, it's going to be a crime.
Like I said, you have to have reasonable suspicion that a crime has been committed, and you do not have that. Okay.
At this point in time, can you tell me your name and date of birth?
Like I said, you should be familiar with Texas Penal Code 3802, and under that, I'm going to abide by that, which means I do not have to identify because you have not lawfully detained me, okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm just telling you how it is, and if you're gonna make up that story, I have it documented. Okay. So if you're gonna say I gave that lady a hard time, are you really gonna stick with that, sir?
She said you gave her a hard time. I didn't say nothing. I'm telling you what, I'm regurgitating what she said, sir. That's my job.
Are you sure?
What do you mean, we're sure?
I hope you go in there and ask her again.
Okay, I don't have to. I just sent him in. It's all going to be recorded. Okay. I understand we have cameras too, and we have microphones too.
I understand.
Okay.
I'm not out here doing anything wrong.
Yeah. And like I said,
I just went in there to figure out what it takes.
I'm going to have to ask you your name, and then, like I said, after that, we're going to basically have to take it a step further.
A few moments later.
And here's why I owe you an apology. You're right. You don't have to identify yourself. If you were a suspect in a crime, then yeah.
I understand. I didn't hear what you said.
I said, here's why I owe you the apology. You're right. You don't have to get. You can refuse to give me your name. It's not failed ID unless you committed a crime. If I suspected you of a crime, you'd have been.
How long you been an officer?
25 years.
25 years, and you made that mistake?
I wish I walked on water. I'm not perfect. I don't think you are either, are you?
Hey, that's 101 right there.
Amen, buddy. God loves me, though. That's the good news. Have a great day, sir. You've released.
Now this next video, you're about to witness a man stand up for himself against a cop who tried pulling him over for absolutely nothing. No crime, no traffic violation, just a so-called well-being check. But this guy wasn't confused or intimidated. He knew exactly what was happening and he called it out on the spot. He demanded a supervisor, held firm on his rights, and made it clear you don't get to detain people just because you feel like it.
Hey, how's it going, man? I'm Officer Alfonso with the Tyrant Police Department.
What'd you pull me over for?
For a well-being check. That's all it is. I saw that once I got behind you, you keep turning off, and then...
A well-being check, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure you're okay. You keep pulling off the road and coming back on the road and stuff, so I'm trying to see if you're having a medical emergency or anything like that, that's all.
You're pulling me over. You're stopping me from what I'm doing. Because you're concerned? Because...
Yes.
Did I commit a crime?
I said I'm just doing a well-being check on you.
Did I commit a traffic infraction?
No, I'm just doing a well-being check on you.
Is this what is your name?
Officer Alfonso with the Tyrant Police Department.
Who's the other officer?
What is it?
Who's the other officer?
Officer Amen. He's right over there. Just doing a well-being check on you, man. You keep
yeah. I'm Do you have a supervisor on duty?
I can get a supervisor.
I'd like a supervisor over here. Is this something that you guys typically engage in?
What is it?
Is this something that you guys typically engage in?
We conduct well-being checks all the time whenever a car, if we see that a car is doing some type of maneuvers or anything like that.
What maneuver was it that you...
I just said that you kept pulling off and onto the road and all.
How many times did I pull off the road?
It was a total of 2 times that you did that, so I was trying to check.
Is this the second time, the traffic stop?
No, the second time was when you pulled off into the Stetson field.
When was the first time?
The first time, it was by the potato patch, if you know where that is. That's right down there by the Dixie Lodge. I don't know if you're from the area.
Really? Is that on video?
It is actually. My dash cam records up to a minute before anything happens.
Anything happens. So when did you start recording?
It's a minute before
the lights turned on. So I was in that Stetson lot for more than a minute.
But it's still happened under my presence. I was just doing a well-being check. The supervisor's coming. Okay, he's gonna.
Well, I mean, you're the one that pulled me over. You've got me.
Well, you requested a supervisor.
Yeah, because you've got me over here on the side of the road.
Yeah, for a well-being check. That's what it was. Yeah,
so how long do you need to conduct your well-being check?
This was it, but you called the supervisor, so I'm just waiting on my.
Because you're illegally detaining me on the side of the road, sir.
I'm just doing a well-being check. I never said you're being detained or anything.
Sir, I'm not detained. There's lights on behind me. You pulled me over to the side of the road. How am I supposed to believe that I'm not being detained?
Like I said, my supervisor's on his way. Well, go ahead and talk to my supervisor. You would have been free to go now because I see that you're doing perfectly fine, but you called for my supervisor. That's why.
I'm concerned that you're pulling people over for not doing anything wrong.
I got you.
I'm concerned that you're detaining people on the side of the road for no good reason.
Well, we're just doing a well-being check on you.
I'm not real concerned about your well-being checking me. You're pulling citizens over on the side of the road for their well-being. Is that what I'm to understand?
We can do that.
You can do that, huh?
Might be having a medical issue.
What kind of medical issue would somebody have pulling over on the side of the road?
Like I said, you pulled over more than once. I was trying to make sure you were okay.
I don't like to be followed by police.
Okay. It's a public roadway. I'm allowed to follow you if I wanted to.
Yep. And I guess you're allowed to illegally detain me too, huh?
I never said you were detained. I said
Sir, I'm not detained. I'm not detained. What do those lights mean?
You can leave right
Okay. When an officer pulls behind you, you see what's going on here? I got pulled over for a well-being check. They want to check my well-being.
How's it going, man?
How do you think it's going? Is it Sergeant Salmon?
It is.
Why are your officers pulling people over for no crime?
Okay, so he was conducting a well-being check on you. You were
Come on, man.
Some
concerning behavior, like pulling to the side of the road safely in a safe manner.
Okay. He said you
not
did so several
not
times.
violating any traffic and
Okay.
You have me detained on the side of the road, and you don't want to listen to me.
Sergeant! Fuck off!
And that right there is how you hold your ground. No yelling, no violence, just knowing your rights and refusing to be pushed around. This guy stood tall, stayed calm, and reminded those officers that badges don't come with unlimited power. If more people handled interactions like this, we'd see a lot less unlawful stops and a lot more accountability. Remember, knowing your rights is only half the battle. Exercising them respectfully but firmly is what really makes the difference. If you found this video valuable, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and drop a comment on what you do in this situation. Stay sharp, stay free.
Here's the thing nobody tells you about power. Real power hates being questioned, especially when the person asking the questions actually knows the law. It started in different places, different cities, different officers, but every situation had one thing in common: a camera. And somehow, that little camera kept turning normal officers into completely different people. One man was standing outside a public building, quiet, hands in his pockets, just recording traffic and people walking by. Then an officer rolls up. Instant attitude. What are you doing? Recording. Simple answer. But the officer already looked irritated. You can't film here. No explanation. No law. Just confidence. And that's the funny part. A lot of people mistake confidence for correctness. The cameraman didn't argue, didn't get emotional. He just asked, why? That single word destroyed the entire momentum, because suddenly the officer had to explain himself, and he couldn't. Instead, he pivoted straight to control. Let me see your ID. There it was, the universal backup plan. But the guy barely reacted. Am I being detained? Now the officer pauses. Not long, but enough. Enough to realize this conversation isn't going the way he expected. You're being suspicious. The cameraman smiles a little. Suspicious isn't a crime. And just like that, control starts slipping. In another situation, a woman is recording outside a police station, completely calm, not saying a word. An officer storms outside immediately, no recording the building. Meanwhile, there are department surveillance cameras pointed everywhere. The irony? Crazy. The woman calmly points upward. You guys record everybody all day. The officer ignores it completely, because logic stops mattering once ego gets involved. Another cop joins him, then another. Now suddenly there's 3 officers surrounding one person with a camera, and none of them can actually explain what law is being broken. That's the pattern. Always. Big energy. Zero statute. One officer finally snaps. You're making people uncomfortable. And honestly, that line explains everything. Not danger, not crime, discomfort. That's what usually triggers these encounters. Because some officers confuse discomfort with illegality. But smart citizens know the difference. One ordered to lean against the wall while officers kept demanding identification. What's your name? No, thank you. What's your ID? No, thank you. You have to identify yourself. Under what law? Boom. That question hits like a brick every single time. Because once somebody asks, under what law? Everything changes. Now authority has homework. And if they don't know the answer, it shows immediately. One cop starts rambling about investigations. Another mentions reasonable suspicion. A third just stays quiet because he clearly knows his stop is garbage. And the citizen, still relaxed, still calm. That's what makes these videos powerful. The officers usually lose control emotionally before the citizens ever do. One interaction got especially awkward. A female officer got angry after somebody aimed a camera back toward her. Don't take my picture. The order to look genuinely confused. Aren't you wearing 3 cameras right now? Absolute silence, because there's no recovering from that hypocrisy. Another officer threatened trespassing. Problem was, the guy never stepped on private property once. Public sidewalk the entire time. And everybody knew it. Even the backup officers looked embarrassed. That's the thing about bad stops. Eventually, other cops arrive who actually know the law. And once they do, the energy changes instantly. You will see it happen every time. The loud officer suddenly gets quiet. The aggressive one suddenly steps back. Because now accountability entered the scene. One supervisor walked up and asked, "What crime are we investigating?" Nobody answered. Not one officer. Because there wasn't one. Just cameras. And feelings. The citizens stood there calmly while the officers awkwardly tried explaining themselves. Finally, the supervisor just sighed. If they're on public property, they can record. Game over. Immediately, you could literally feel the humiliation. Because tyrants only look powerful. Until somebody informed shows up. Then suddenly, all the commands disappear. No more show me ID. No more move along. No more threats. Just awkward silence and officers walking away pretending nothing happened. And honestly, that walk-away moment always says the most. Because if somebody truly had legal authority, they wouldn't leave empty-handed. No citation, no arrest, no crime, just bruised egos. And the citizens? Most of them never celebrate. That's the important part. They stay calm, professional, sometimes even respectful. Because this isn't about winning. It's about refusing to surrender rights out of fear. That's why these interactions matter. Not because cops look bad, but because people need to see something important. You don't have to be aggressive to stand your ground. You don't need to scream. You don't need to fight. You just need knowledge. Because knowledge changes posture. It changes fear. It changes conversations. And once somebody realizes you actually understand your rights, the entire power dynamic shifts. Every single time.